we've done when the kids went to a tournament, we've done the drinks, we've done that. And you don't ever want a thank you note for anything. And that's why you stay anonymous. But tonight, I can't be anonymous because it's not about me. It's about a team of young men who are outstanding, who won a state championship. And I expected to see balloons in the sky. I expected to see parades down the street. I mean, here are public schools with something really wonderful happening. So tonight, I thought, we need to do that. And we have a group of young men here who are outstanding. Guys, I'm really proud of what you did. You should be very proud. Be sure and text your parents if they're not watching, because we're streaming. We spend a lot of time talking about the wrong things kids do, and we don't spend a lot of time honoring the good things that kids do. And you're doing some really good things. You're bright, you're strong, you're fun to be with, and you've got all kinds of great future. And for that, I'm very proud. I'm a product of the public school education. I very much believe in quality public education, and you're a testament to that. Now, I know Josh, your captain, couldn't be here because it's a state tournament in basketball. So we will have a certificate for him as well. I'd like to ask Jonah Chapman to come up. So we at the City Council have a certificate for each one of you with your name on it, signed by me and the chair, because the City Council wants to honor you. And let me tell you, who's going to take these? Can I trust you? All right, here's what it says. The certificate is proudly presented to Jonah Chapman of the 2022-2023 football team for Tyner Academy for winning the Tennessee State Championship TSSAA Division I Class 2A. Congratulations. The chair, if we could all stand up since we took that back row with balloons and have a parade for you. And guess what he said?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So, stand up, guys. Follow me through and let everybody. You're our leaders of the future, and we take that very seriously, and I know you do too. And in that vein, the mayor's office has some proclamations for you as well.
Thank you, council members. That will be tough to follow, but I'll do my best. On behalf of Mayor Kelly and the administration, we are also incredibly proud of you all, and so we've got a certificate here recognizing the team. I will not be redundant and read it, but congratulations, we're incredibly proud of all of you. And then we also have a certificate recognizing Josh Jackson, who, as council members said, has been recently named Mr. Football, and incredibly proud of him and each of you and the coaching staff and the school staff. Thank you all for being here, and once again, we're incredibly proud of you.
You had a number of incredible adults that worked to make this event happen. Your coaches, your principal, all of that, but guess what? This is about you. They may have coached, they may have taught, they may have driven a bus, they may have nurtured you, but guess who did it? You. Be very proud. Thank you very much for being here, guys. You're welcome to stay for the meeting if you like. Some of you asked how government works. You'll see.
You may regret that.
Some of you asked if you could stay. You can if you want. If anybody's stuck without a ride, we'll give you a ride home, so that's not a big deal. You all decide what you want to do. And Mr. Chair, thank you very much for allowing me the time to honor my folks.
Dr. Burrs, thank you very much for bringing these young gentlemen, and thank you all for coming and spending a few moments with us to let us see you. I echo what Dr. Burrs has said. What an amazing accomplishment. Did I hear 25 years? That's awesome. And you said we can hang on to this? Oh, you're laughing, so I'm guessing not. We are very, 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 very proud of you. And I do not know your schedule, though. If you're departing, I will be glad to give you a few moments to get back on the bus. If you're staying, you are more than welcome. Just let me know, and we'll continue on with our meeting. If you want to stay for a little bit, someone give me a signal from your group, and I'll kind of take a pause, and you can come up and get the trophy, and then you can leave. So I'll just kind of watch. Who will be my signal if you need to leave? Yeah. So what's your call? You're going to go ahead? Yeah. All right. We'll take a 3-minute recess.
Hey, Justin, hey, how you doing? Good, how you doing, boo? Well, you know we still go to church, baby. You gonna be there Sunday. Yeah, you need to come Sunday, 11 o'clock. I see you there.
No pressure there. Okay, bye.
Bye,
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, man.
Congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Bye, Justin. Good luck. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Amazing.
You're welcome.
Great job.
Can you bring that back next year?
It's my district.
We'll try to bring us another one up here next year. That'd be
A
good.
lot of live in our
Fantastic.
district. Your district, my district.
Great, thank you. Council, we'll continue with our agenda this evening. I will take a motion on the minutes, please. Have a minute. Motion on the minutes, and we'll stand without objection. Order of business for City Council ordinances on final reading. Madam Clerk, legal item A, please.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 21, Section 21232, jurisdiction of Office of Administrative Hearing Officer, restrictions on authority relating to short-term vacation rental, litter, and overgrowth issues.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments on final reading? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries. Planning items. Council, without objection, we have planning items B through I on final reading this evening. I would like to take those as a package if there is no objection. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please read items B through I? And we will take those as a package.
Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift condition numbers 1, 3, and 6 of ordinance number 11827 and all other remaining conditions to remain valid and carry over for the properties located at 5993, 5979, and 5965 Highway 153, subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 2341 Jenkins Road from R1 residential zone to RKZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone several properties in the 2600 blocks of Coward and William Street and the 200 block of West 27th Street from R3 residential zone with conditions to UGC urban general commercial zone with conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone an unaddressed property in the 1800 block of Watauga Street from R2 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 2003 South Beach Street from R2 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item G, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 2209 Bailey Avenue from R2 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item H, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1605 Dodge Avenue from R2 residential zone to UGC urban general commercial zone subject to certain conditions. Item I, an ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, Article 7, non-conforming uses to add a new subsection to Section 38541 to establish legal non-conforming protection to existing two-family dwellings in the R1 residential zone that was lost due to a loss of power for more than 100 days.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments on items B through I on final reading? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Items carry on final reading. Madam Clerk, ordinances on first reading. Planning item A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 6026 East Brainerd Road from R1 residential zone to RT1 residential townhouse zone subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Dr. Burrs.
Thank you. They're not here because the applicant has requested formally in writing that it be withdrawn, so I move that it be withdrawn.
I have a motion to withdraw.
Second.
I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item is withdrawn. Madam Clerk, item B on first reading.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2,
I'm sorry,
Chapter...
Madam Clerk, the alternate version.
Yes.
Thank you.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 1913 and 1915 South Kelly Street from R2 residential zone and C5 neighborhood commercial zone to UGC urban general commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant present? I have an applicant. Is there any opposition present? Councilwoman Knoll, I have an applicant, an alternate version read into the record. You have the floor, ma'am.
Approve.
We have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries on first reading, the alternate version. Thank you. Resolutions, council office. Madam Clerk, read item A, please, into the record.
A resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Philip A. Noblet as Chattanooga City Attorney pursuant to Section 362 of the Chattanooga City's Charter.
Councilman Henderson.
Move approval, sir.
I have a motion to approve. I have several seconds. Questions or comments before we vote? Anyone? All those in favor? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Nolan. Madam Clerk?
What'd you ask for?
Madam Clerk, item B, please.
A resolution to repeal Resolution Number 30806 adopted on June 29, 2021, and adopting new rules of operation for the Chattanooga City Council.
Dr. Burrs.
Move approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item carries. Legal, item C, Madam Clerk, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a waiver, release, and termination of reversionary interest and reconveyance right with the Chattanooga Hamilton County Hospital Authority, Erlanger Health, Erlanger Merge Co. LLC in Hamilton County.
Have a motion to approve. I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries. Madam Clerk, under Mayor's Office, without objection from council, items D through R will take as a package.
Item D, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Alexis Kennedy to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 10, Washington Hills, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2024. Item E, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Chauncey Neal to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 5, South Chattanooga, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2024. Item F, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Christy Morris to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 10, Washington Hills, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21st, 2024. Item G, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Christopher Cooper to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 1, Lookout Valley, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21st, 2024. Item H, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Donna Sunderfer to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 6, Bushtown, Glenwood, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item I, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of George Ricks to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 6, Bushtown, Glenwood, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item J, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Janice Gooden to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 7, Dotson, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item K, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Jillian Sandifer to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 9, Sandifer Gap, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025.
Okay.
Item L, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Kelvin Scott to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 7, Dotson, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item M, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Marcia Rudolph to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 6, Bushtown, Glenwood, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2024. Item N, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Micah Chapman to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 10, Washington Hills, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item O, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Molly Anderson to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 9, Standard for Gap, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item P, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Shiloh McCullough to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 1, Lookout Valley, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item Q, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Terrell James to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 10, Washington Hills, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025. Item R, resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Tom Hurst to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 1, Lookout Valley, for a term beginning on February 22nd, 2023, and ending on February 21, 2025.
Madam Clerk, if we haven't told you today yet, we certainly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve. I have a second to that motion. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations. And is there anyone here tonight serving on the Community Advisory Committee? If you would, please stand. We'd like to recognize you and thank you for your service. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve. Office of Community Health, have you recovered?
Yes.
Okay. Item S, please.
A resolution authorizing the Office of Community Health, OCH, to apply to serve as a host site for 2 additional Centers for Disease Control, CDC, Public Health Associate Program, PHAP, Public Health Professional, field assigned for 2 years positions.
Dr. Burrs,
Move approval.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Parks and Outdoors. Madam Clerk, without objection from council, I'd like to take items T, U, and V together as a package.
Item T, a resolution authorizing a waiver of park rental fees for River City Company in support of Los Tropos from the dates of March 15, 2023 through April 17, 2023 for the maximum amount of $32,500. Item U, a resolution authorizing the Department of Parks and Outdoors to apply for and, if awarded, accept a Rebuilding America Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity Raise grant for an amount up to $17.5 million with a local not to exceed 20% match of $3.5 million. Item V, a resolution authorizing the mayor for the department and authorizing the administrator for the Department of Parks and Outdoors to accept an award of $150,000 from American Rescue Plan funds to support teen and community-specific programming.
So you've read our Parks and Outdoors items for this evening. I have a motion to approve. I have a second to that motion. Several seconds. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items carry. Under planning, item W, please.
Would you like for me to read the alternate version?
I would like for you to read the alternate version. Thank you.
A resolution authorizing the Administrator of Planning, RPA, to enter into an agreement with Reagan Smith to prepare area plans for unincorporated Hamilton County areas for $516,000 with a contingency amount of $51,600 for a total amount not to exceed $567,600.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Alternate version carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Without objection, under Public Works, X, Y, Z, and AA, if you would, take that as a package, please.
Item X, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number E2229 ESIP Release Area Site Prep to Wright Brothers Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $6,696,235. Item Y, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2, final with Tricon Inc. of Cleveland, Tennessee for contract number Y17005-201 East Lake YFD Center renovations to increase the contract by $450,318.59 due to a parking lot subgrade remediation, addition of 37th Street partial sidewalk reconstruction, addition of sidewalk railing, and other construction changes for a revised contract amount of $4,543,891.24. Item Z, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number W22004201 CIPP rehabilitation blanket to SAK Construction LLC of O'Fallon, Missouri, and to Inliner Solution LLC of Orleans, Indiana, for a 4-year term for the annual amount of $4 million. Item AA, a resolution authorizing the appointment of James A. Lehman as Special Police Officer unarmed for the Department of Public Works to do special duty as prescribed herein in his position as electrical inspector, subject to certain conditions.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second to that motion. Questions or comments before we vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Items carry. That concludes our ordinances and resolutions for this evening. We do have purchases. 5 purchases this evening. Mr. Satterfield, are you presenting?
I am.
Wonderful.
Yes, we have 5 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first is from the wastewater department. This is a new blanket contract for Moino pump parts. This will be a 4-year agreement not to exceed $150,000 per year. 5 bids were requested and 1 was received. The invitation was re-advertised and resulted in no additional bids. The award will go to Carl Eric Johnson, Inc. Second, also from wastewater department, this is a one-time purchase of Brentwood Polychem chains. The award will go to Guthrie Sales and Service as the sole authorized representative in Tennessee for a total cost of $141,600. Next, from the Facilities Division of Public Works, This is a new blanket contract for custodial services at the Family Justice Center. This will be a 4-year agreement not to exceed $55,000 per year. 12 bids were requested and 6 were received. The award will go to ABM Industry Group LLC. Next, from Economic Development, this is a blanket contract for an affordable housing team coordinator. This will be a 4-year agreement not to exceed $89,840 total. 12 bids were requested and 1 was received. The invitation was re-advertised and resulted in no additional bids. The award will go to May 8 Consulting. And last, from Technology Services, a new blanket agreement for the purchase of a fire department records management system for use by the Chattanooga Fire Department. This will be a 5-year agreement totaling $572,856.70. The award will go to Locality Media, Inc., doing business as First Due as a sole source agreement. This item was to be purchased using a cooperative agreement, but a cost savings was garnered by going directly to the supplier. And that was it.
Have a motion to approve purchases this evening?
Second.
Have a second to that motion. For those of you new to our meetings and those following online for the first time, purchases are sent a week in advance to council to ask questions, and again today at 3:30 during our agenda session to get those questions answered and or ask any additional information that is needed. Have a motion on the floor to approve, and that has been seconded. Questions or comments before we vote on purchases? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, council. We have no RFPs to report, no emergency purchases. We did have 10 contract renewals that are listed in your packet for this evening. Next, we'll move into committee reports. Councilman Henderson, we'll start with you.
No report.
Councilwoman Hill.
No report.
Councilman Smith.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Hester.
We did meet today and we'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Coonrod.
No report.
Councilwoman Knoll.
No report.
Dr. Burrs.
No report.
Madam Vice Chair.
Equity and Community Development will meet next week with a departmental report and a report from United Way.
Thank you, ma'am. That will end our committee reports for this evening. We are now ready to recognize persons wishing to address council this evening. If you would like to address council this evening, please come to the podium and create a line here. And while we do that, I'll have the city attorney read our engagement rules for public speaking.
This body tonight, by resolution, adopted new rules on public comments, so they're a little bit less. I thought I'd let you know. At the end of each council meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council. Here are your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council shall only be recognized at the microphone up front provided for that purpose. Can't have more than 3 minutes to speak. You can only address the council upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority of the council, and not address the council on other matters that are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. You still cannot use any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. The speaker should address the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members, and still shall not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law. A person commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. The council has deleted at this point in time the requirement that you can only talk 1 time a day, so you can talk tonight, and go right ahead, sir.
Good evening, Council. John, 1808 Duncan Avenue. I thought I'd show up tonight because I figured you guys would come looking for me, wondering what happened. It's been a while. 2,352 miles of road is what the Chattanooga Department of Transportation is responsible for. We resurface about 60 miles a year. So if you do the math, that's about 40 years it takes to resurface all of our roads. I don't know if you've noticed, there's quite a few roads that need resurfacing, and that's because the average lifespan of a road, especially your heavily trafficked ones, is around 20 years. The best way that we can fund these roads right now seems to be to grow our city, and the way we most often choose to grow our city is by a new suburb like Mount Etna or Etna Mountain, whatever it might be called. The challenge here is this is almost like a Ponzi scheme. We get quick money, but now we have to fund those roads in 20 years, and we'll need 2 more Etna Mountains to fund the one that funded us and kept us solvent now. This ever-expanding suburban sprawl is an increasing tax both on us as a community and our future community as a whole. I came here tonight to actually propose a solution, a small one, a test that we could do to strengthen our community and reduce the amount of roads that we have to be responsible for, all while making transportation more efficient. Macaulay Avenue right now in Highland Park, where I live, is 4 lanes, unnecessarily for about 8 blocks. It connects some of the city's best resources, the second biggest national cemetery in the country, Warner Park Sports Facility, the zoo, Orchard Knob Reservation. It connects them to a pedestrian community in UTC. It doesn't connect to the interstate. It no longer goes through the tunnel. It is a street that should be thriving with businesses and should be safe for multimodal transportation. I recommend that we do a 90-day complete street trial. Let's make a 2-way protected bike lane from Orchard Knob all the way through to UTC. We'll have to get rid of some parking, but I'm sitting here thinking there really is no risk, because after 90 days, if it's not safer, if it's not more efficient, if it doesn't give the city less roads to maintain, we can always go back. However, what could go right? It could be safer, it could be more efficient, it could make students more active and healthy, it could increase accessibility, both for opportunities in the neighborhood to downtown and from downtown to more affordable housing in the neighborhood. I'm sending an email to all of you, so looking forward to hearing back and partnering with whoever is willing. I've already met with this Department of Transportation. I'm talking to city planners, plan on introducing this to the RPA, and what I want to do is make our city safe for everyone. When New York City introduced 24 miles of bike lanes in New York City, traffic accidents went down. Not for car pedestrians, overall. Car drivers were safer and roads pushed through more people per hour as a result of adding bike lanes. We've done this in other cities, and we've done this here with Main Street by necking it down to 2 lanes. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, City Council. I am disappointed that I have to be here this afternoon to share these words with you all.
Could you tell us your name and your
My-
district, please, for the record?
Oh, yeah. My name is Lyda Navarro, and I am here, I'm here today asking for each of you to do your part. And do I have to do my address?
Sorry, we were asking for your name and your district. And
Oh.
some council members are looking
I'm
for your
sorry.
district.
My name is Lyda Navarro, and my district is 9.
9, thank
Yes,
you so
sorry.
much. My apologies.
No, you're fine. My name is Lyda Navarro, and I'm here today asking for each of you to do your part in keeping Mayor Kelly's administration accountable for their actions in inequity and political interference that has led to the release of S.I. Navarro as the director for the Office of New Americans. On September 7, 2022, Mayor Kelly announced his appointment of SIE as the inaugural director for the city's Office of New Americans. And he said, and I quote, "She brings an expansive network of local and nationwide diverse partnerships spanning several sectors to her work with the city, along with an unmatched heart for her community that aligns with the values of Mayor Kelly's One Chattanooga plan." All of the letters that community members have written have determined that that was the truth. The establishment of the Office of New Americans and the appointment of SIE gave this community hope that because she has the reputation of getting work done with integrity and keeps the community at the forefront. But the fact that SI Navarro was unable to release any work for the 6 months that she was employed and was met with comments like "there's no appetite for your work and I cannot catch any heat for this right now," well, to me, the whole office is giving, as we say in Spanish, luchi pluma, which in English means a lie, a scam, or just a show with no substance. If this administration is not committed to uplifting the community, then it just needs to be honest so that we can put people in office who will. Because appointed people serve at the pleasure of the mayor, and the mayor serves at the pleasure of the people. If Mayor Kelly's administration was truly committed to ensuring the Office of New Americans had the best leadership in place for the community, SI Navarro would be given an opportunity to finally do her job without interference. The One Chattanooga plan mentions prioritizing justice over charity, but what does that look like in this moment? In this moment, justice looks like giving SI her job back over charity, which is allowing 2 organizations to hold a closed-door meeting on February 3rd with Mayor Kelly and one of their board members, who just so also happens to be the chief of staff, to dictate who and who should not be in office. Again, I stand before you today asking for each of you to keep this administration accountable and ensure the person in this office is not protecting the interest of organizations, but is working for the people. And you can start by ensuring the person who gets to direct this office to be confirmed. Thank you.
Good evening. Before I start my time, I wanted to ask you, I have 2 letters from community members that are working and could not come. Their letters won't take long, but I don't want to read the letters and take away from my 3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
But
My
you're
name
welcome
is,
to send the letters if they're written
yes,
down.
I like to send the letters.
You're more than welcome to do that, yes.
They both work in District 9 and live in District 6. Thank you so much. Okay, my name is Nitza Velasco. I live on District 6 and I work on District 9. My work has a lot to do with the community, with the Latino community. And it's not my first time here, but this is so close to me and I'm very nervous. So I just want to tell you that on the week of August the 2nd, a letter was read to the City Council by a volunteer who was at the airport working with the refugees that were coming through. A lot of people applauded because we talked about Chattanooga being a good Samaritan, and we didn't want to treat these people less humanly. And I was the person that wrote that letter. I was still at the airport when I wrote it. When I couldn't be here to read it. And I am so disappointed also by the firing of S.A. Navarro. And I want to say that because we wrote letters to lots of the members of City Council this week. And I was so disappointed that I didn't get a letter back from my council people, but I did get a letter from the very person that fired her. And to me, that was violent. I feel like representation matters. There's been a lot of firing in that office. And I have here over 30 projects she was working on that were not allowed to get off the ground. The community knows her. The community supports her. She was meeting with pastors. She was meeting with community members. And we have seen her work in the past outside of that office, so we trust her. And we don't understand how come they didn't give her the time to put to work the things she was working on, and she got fired. When we wrote the letters, there was a rumor that she was getting fired, so we rapidly wrote letters, and we wanted you to investigate to see if there was anything that can be done so that this could be stopped. By the time I got my letter, she had already been fired by the chief of staff. And the chief of staff is the one that writes me the letter, and I quote, "I do want to acknowledge your concern and let you know that Mayor Kelly places the highest priority on ensuring our Office of New Americans, that the new Office of New Americans has the leadership it needs to best serve our immigrant and refugees communities while building strong coalitions with a wide range of residents, partners, and advocates, et cetera, et cetera." Well, I want you to know that today, one of the immigrants from Nicaragua that was here that day, he's sitting right there. He doesn't speak English, but he felt it was important for him to be here today and let you know that what she did that day for him and many others matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Buenas tardes a todos. No sé si me permiten.
Can I translate for him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mi nombre es Darwin Barrera.
My name is Darwin Barrera.
Mi distrito es el número 1.
My district is number 1.
Y solamente vengo a secundar lo que se ha dicho
I came to second what has been said
acerca de Esaí Navarro.
about S.A. Navarro.
Yo soy un ministro de
I am a
de culto,
pastor.
Y tengo un negocio aquí en
I'm also
Chattanooga.
a small business owner here in Chattanooga.
Hemos tenido pequeños problemas con los miembros de la iglesia.
We have had some problems with members of our church.
Y Isaí nos ha ayudado.
S.A. has helped us.
Rápidamente les voy a comentar
I will rapidly tell
hace
you
2 años
that 2 years ago,
una miembro de la
a
iglesia
member of our church
tuvo problemas con inmigración.
had
con la policía.
an immigration with police that led to immigration.
La llevaron a Atlanta
They took her to Atlanta.
y fuimos toda una semana con Isaí.
For a week, we went to Atlanta with S.A.
Después la enviaron hacia sur de Georgia
They sent her to the south of Georgia,
y fuimos con Isaí
and we went over there
y
with
hasta que
S.A.
logramos traerla a
And
sus
until
hijos.
we were able to bring her back
Porque
to her children.
era una madre, ¿verdad?, que tenía a sus hijos aquí
Because
nacidos.
she was a
ciudadanos.
mother that had her children who had been
Nos
born here.
gustaría que consideraran
I
o
would like for you
reconsideraran
to consider or reconsider
el despido de
the
su
firing doing of her job
a quien corresponda, ¿verdad?
to whoever it concerns.
Y nos gustaría que ella volviera y que
And I
estuviera con
would like
nosotros en la comunidad.
for her to come back and be with us in the community.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Curtis Lancaster. I am from District 5. I'm new to District 5. I've met my councilman one time. I addressed a problem I was having, and he promised to get back with me. As a veteran and as a homeowner, I got a problem that I want to be addressed. I've already involved the city with it, and the city put me on the waiting list. But when it rains, I'm getting a runoff that is damaging my property. And I would like my councilman to give me a call if he's gonna be a man of their word. So we can get some kind of resolution to the problem that I'm having, because it is causing me property damage.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
He's heard you.
Hello, council.
Hi.
My name is David Johnson. I live in District 9. Hello, councilwoman. I want to share with council a major safety, economic, and social problem. I use Brandon Road as a walker and driver daily. Typically use the signal at Elmwood, but that's been closed for a few months. So what I have to do instead is get on Seminole and try to take a left across several lanes of traffic coming through the tunnel as traffic is coming up to enter the tunnel. It's terribly unsafe. It's just not a pleasant place to be as a walker, a driver, a biker, anybody. It's not pleasant. This section of Brandon Road is just statistically unsafe. I personally witnessed an SUV upside down against the building where it had been going so fast and flipped on the road. This constant threat affects the economic life of numerous businesses, and these are some of the businesses that are immediately impacted. Art Warehouse, Studio 34, which is used by the Pop-Up Project, Gannon Art Center, Hatch Outfitters, Anthology, Elliot Blake, Toes Yoga, Foxy K9, Vision Stained Glass, L Squared Construction, Ripple Theater, People Ready, HireQuest, Vina Nails, and Victory Fuels. They did not ask me to do this. I just thought you should know what businesses are there and deal with that issue every day. This is a state route, and TDOT must approve permanent changes to it. Several of you have other state routes that face this same issue. We understand that working with TDOT is difficult, but we have an example locally where our city administration has been able to affect the change of a street that TDOT manages by collaborating closely with them and showing intentionality and thinking not just how quickly can we move cars, but how can we make this a safe place for everyone. I thought you should know that the TDOT mission is to provide a safe and reliable system that supports economic growth and quality of life. That doesn't sound like Brandon Road to me, and it doesn't sound like some other roads that are in several of your districts. We know that city administration, when it wants to, can intentionally affect the design of our streets, working collaboratively with TDOT. And so just this last week, we noticed that there were little strips across the road. That's likely from a traffic study being conducted. I think it would be appropriate to share the results of that traffic study with the general public so we can all understand how are vehicles moving through this area. Are they moving faster than the listed speed limit? I would guess yes, but this information is real data that we can use. Through that effort, we'll understand what options are available to TDOT. I would also ask that the city administration work intentionally with TDOT in a mutual way to meet their mission that they have listed that also supports thriving neighborhoods. I know there are several people across the city that care about the same thing. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Mr. Boston, the owner of 2807 North Chamberlain Avenue, on a lot of property in East Chattanooga. I'm no stranger to council. I got a problem. My grandfather, 88 years old, been living in East Chattanooga. He was one of the first black men on North Chamberlain when Mount Canaan Baptist Church got there. He got a letter in the mail the other day talking about the city code. They're gonna cite him for having an old car in his yard. The people at the county, at the city code should have came to him correct. He asked him, why is the cars in his yard? My grandfather worked in the family all his life, raised 6 kids, and raised me. I'm the grandson, I'm the go-getter in the family now. I take care of my grandfather, my grandmama dead. We're very known in East Chattanooga, we know stranger, we own a lot of property out there in East Chat. But the code enforcer should have came a different way. My grandfather had that car 50 years. One of his first cars when he worked in the foundry, he was happy for that car. Now it's going to be taken away from the city because y'all got a code that a rundown car can't be in the yard. Guess what? My property right next door, I got 12 cars in the yard. They all run. If the city go down to the city, Anthony Bird's office at the courthouse, they can see who car run or not. They should have to come in our yard, private property, and say the car can't go up and go back. They can find out a different way. I'm not fooled. I work in this kind of field. I've been here 26 years. I know the rules. So we got some new people that moved in the community. Houses in that community are worth $229,000 to $300,000. When my grandfather moved there, the house was $30,000. I'm 45 years old. I was born and raised in that neighborhood. We get 3 or 4 people in that neighborhood, now they want to come in that neighborhood and take over. East Chattanooga don't need no criticism like that. Crime is high in East Chattanooga. I'd rather for the money y'all spending out on the city code, get it to the police department to make the streets safe for East Chattanooga. Give them techniques they need to work a high crime neighborhood. What are they doing that is wrong? I can take it farther. I go viral all the time. I want mine going viral again for my grandfather. Please, can we reconsider what we're doing, get with the city code people and readjust this thing for the black folks in East Chattanooga. This is just the beginning. If I have to take it farther than Nashville, I will. Because I love my grandfather, I love my community. And I once was an urban child in the community, but now I'm a business owner on one of the biggest businesses here in Chattanooga. I love y'all, may God bless y'all, may keep you, may strengthen you, and have a good night.
Thank you, Tom.
My name is Charlie Wysong. The other night I was up late and I used to do statistical counseling for CPA firms in Atlanta to teach them how to do audits and things that they do in their profession. And I came across a statistic that showed that among those people who regularly attend church, only 1% could name all 10 of the commandments. And I began to look and do some analysis to that. And out of a nation of 340 million people, that would mean that about 500,000 people are familiar enough with the 10 commandments to name all 10. And so we're beginning a campaign, a group of us, to do 2 things. Number one, get parents to learn the 10 commandments well enough to teach it to their children. And number 2, get a copy up in their home. And tonight I wanted to make a copy available to the council that y'all might lead the way. But this was a copy of the 10 Commandments done by the calligrapher for the Atlanta High Museum of Art, a man named John Stuart McKenzie. And if anybody would like a copy, I'd be happy to share one with you after the meeting. I also did there's a simple way to memorize the 10 Commandments. I've done the devotions down at Chick-fil-A and at the headquarters in Atlanta. And one of the owners came up with this way of memorizing the 10 Commandments using your 10 fingers. And with 5 fingers, you can make a salute. And the 5th commandment is honor thy father and thy mother. But I'd like to make these available to you. I tell you this, most of our problems that we're facing today, the serious ones, I'm glad that we can take care of this kind of thing, but you know and I know there are deep problems, and they're not just administrative, they're moral. And by coming back and learning God's law and being obedient to God's law, we will escape. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Strickland. I'm with District 9.
I had to leave work tonight and skip my lunch to come out because I thought it was very important to speak with you all tonight. Many people here are not here for that same reason, but we all know that SIE, she works for and serves anyone, and she would do anything for anyone. And I just wanted to come out here and speak on her behalf because I really hope you guys reconsider the decision to remove her from her position. And I wanted to highlight some of the following things that she has done for our community, not only for the Latin community, but for the Black community as well. The way she advocates and helps immigrants navigate our legal systems, she's the only person in Chattanooga I know who fearlessly walks into jails and detention centers to ensure our safety, ensure proper procedures are being followed and communicated, and bring our mothers and fathers home. The way she would wake up in the middle of the night if there were migrants coming into the city and be the first one to figure out everything all by herself if necessary, because other organizations here in this community aren't willing to show up and even put effort into helping. She even puts herself on the line to defend the needs of immigrant community by educating others on our truths if necessary. The way she helps us when other organizations paid to help us fail to be there for us or leave us hanging on empty promises of help. She cares about the work, not the money, and I feel that is very important. I can keep going on forever, but I would never end. Even with the tornado, she helped, my mother lost her house, and SIE did an amazing job with helping with rebuilding homes, feeding families who needed it, and just so much. The community knows her, and they trust her, like she says. And I just ask you guys to reconsider, and I hope you guys give her justice and investigate and give her an opportunity to show you what I know she is capable of doing. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council this evening? Council, I'm not seeing anyone.
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.